Indian Matchmaking, a show about arranged marriages, can't ignore the political reality in India. So if you have a Netflix channel, you can watch it. I watched it and I just couldn't stop watching it. All these people, what they were asking for and who they ended up with. There was one man who was so rich, he had a closet full of dolls he called gods, and he would change their attire every single day. He had 365 outfits for every doll in that closet. He must have had like 50 dolls. And this was a young man about, what, 25, 30 years old, and his family and sister were urging him to get married, and he was a, happy-go-lucky bachelor in India, very rich. I think he was a jeweler, from what I remember. Anyway, I'm not putting anybody down. I'm not judging anybody. It's just that he finally found someone who had his interests. She was a beautiful model. Anyway, I think she was training to become a certified public accountant or something. And I don't know, what can I tell you? This matchmaker, this Auntie Seema, was going around not only in India, but she would travel to the United States and England in order to help people find their other half. And she had this book full of notes of people. And she would first go and meet the people that were interested in finding their match. And she was their matchmaker. And obviously she would be paid to do this. This is on The Conversation, and it's by Professor of Political Sociology and Development Studies, SOAS, University of London, Navtej Parewai. Now, Auntie Seema, this is the central figure in the Netflix Indian Matchmaking, facilitates the tradition of the arranged marriage by finding suitable matches. By the way, there's also another matchmaking documentary concerning Orthodox Jews in the United States, in London, I think. London, the United States, I can't remember. But there is other matchmakers there as well. That's another documentary. But this one has to do with the Indian matchmaking. Very important because they also have to go into the astrological part of it and things like that. But anyway, Auntie Seema, they're a central figure in Netflix Indian Matchmaking, facilitates the tradition of the arranged marriage by finding suitable matches. As she meets with her clients and their families, the program outlines the parameters of what constitutes a suitable and desirable match and how to find one. According to her, she says, if you want a good and happy family, you have to adjust and have to compromise. Now, when men are told to lower their standards and women to be less choosy, the show's biggest compromise is not made by those looking for their ideal match. Instead, it comes with how it glosses over the politics of contemporary India to fit the format of a reality dating show and appeal to a wide international audience. The program gives the appearance of prioritizing how well people get on rather than how socially and politically acceptable matches are. Instead, social conservatism and casteism, the system of caste that they have, a system of social stratification based on the hierarchy of social status and ritual purity or pollution in India, are surreptitiously promoted to an unaware international audience. These ideas are shrouded within notions of family love, cultural affinity, and desires for children to be happy. While advertised as a dating show, it is questionable whether Indian matchmaking should wade into this territory at all. However, with the unsightly social context and political reality in India omitted from the discussion, India matchmaking covertly upholds the ideas of Hindu nationalism. The family lines of authoritarianism. Indian matchmaking was filmed and aired during a time of deep fascism in India. The last 2 years have seen violent pogroms, far-reaching state orchestration and complicity, and the dismantling of liberal institutions. The Shang Parivar, or the family, of Hindu nationalist organizations in India includes the ruling far-right Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP party. The party led by Narendra Modi has been implementing its vision of a Hindu nation since its electoral landslide in 2014. Exclusionary citizenship laws, anti-Muslim, hate speech and hate crimes, and illegal abolition of Kashmir's special status are some of the key features of BJP's platform. It has welded social conservatism, caste ideology, territorial sovereignty, and Hindu supremacy together to create India's brand of fascism and authoritarianism called Hindutva. By not featuring any conversations about the fraught politics of this time, the program by default contributes to the denial of the violence being perpetrated against minorities. These groups are also excluded from the show to present a quaint and simplistic picture of love in India and the diaspora. It could be understood that such omissions were made to fit within the gender of reality TV. The protocols and idiosyncrasies of this system of matchmaking provide a source of entertainment for viewers, such as first dates where parents and other relatives are embarrassingly present. However, while it might seem odd for what is essential a dating show to wade into such political territory, these omissions propagate and normalize some of the dangerous thinking espoused in Hindutva. Love and hate in a time of fascism. The program's honesty lies in how it exposes how social boundaries and preferences are brazenly stated at the onset. Clients name their traits and then identify those they desire in potential matches, going against the wishes of parents or crossing social boundaries by considering a match outside of the categories of acceptabilities beyond the realm of possibility. Instead, biodatas, which function as dating profiles or personal CVs, are shared and examined in great detail. Religion, education, regional or ethnic background, height, age, profession, and more are listed for participants and viewers to scrutinize. In this process, viewers come to understand the codes and categories of suitability and desirability. Personal and parental foibles distract viewers from considering which groups are missing and what traits are placed on a pedestal. The stigmatization of intercommunity cohesion and relationship under Hindutva has been a key factor of the BJP government's social agenda. Many of these ideas lurk across the episodes of the program. One particular desire that repeatedly comes up is for a fair skin match, quote unquote, fair skin. This is an idea of beauty that can be tracked back to caste ideology and a desire to move upwards or maintain status in a society where caste oppression is a daily reality. Marriages across caste or religion are predominantly frowned upon in India. According to the India Human Development Survey, only about 5% of Indian marriages are across caste. This deeply held and entrenched idea of maintaining caste purity, quote unquote, is part of the BJP social agenda for the Hindu nation. The party loudly seeks to stigmatize and stoke violence against those who transgress caste and religious boundaries. One popular conspiracy theory shared by the Hindu right is love jihad, in this idea that Muslim men target women belonging to non-Muslim communities to convert them to Islam by feigning love. It is an invention to incite suspicion against Muslims in India. And now, love jihad is based on the idea that mixed relationships between Muslims and Hindus will threaten the purity of the Hindu nation. In Indian matchmaking, Hindutva is as a social and political project prevails as an international and subtle follow-up to love jihad. Social conservatism preference for and adherence to categories go hand in hand. Many viewers would have laughed at the behavior of anxiety-ridden Preeti from Mumbai, whose unabashed ambition is to settle her younger son Akshay with a homely match who will look after the family. Despite his reluctance towards the end of the program, her son admits that he wants a wife who will not only please his mother but also be like her. He, like many other clients, are looking for someone just like him and his kin. All in all, the program is disingenuous for suggesting that a system of matchmaking in an era of fascism without naming or referring to the broader political backdrop can do anything but collude with the forces of Hindutva. Instead, the implicit social conservatism of a family, which actively fuels supremacist politics, goes completely unexplored and unchecked. So, this is by Navtel Parwal, the professor of political sociology at University of London, SOIS, and on the conversation. Please give your comments. Thank you so much. And if you can, please support my Patreon account. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.